Hello, Shalom. Welcome to Daily Bread, Day 82. We'll be reading in Leviticus 3, 2 Samuel 12, Psalms 84, Proverbs 20, and we're starting off in Johann 1. We'll be in the scriptures. 2009, Leviticus chapter 3, on page 105. And if that which he presents is a slaughtering of peace offerings, if he is bringing it of the herd, whether male or female, he brings a perfect one before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand on the head of his offering, and slay it at the door of the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood of the slaughter on the slaughter place all around. And from the slaughtering of peace offerings he shall bring a fire offering to Yahweh, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage of the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the sons of Aaron shall burn it on the slaughter place upon the ascending offering, which is on the wood, which is on the fire, is an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if that which he presents is from the flock for slaughtering a peace offering to Yahweh, male or female, he brings a perfect one. If he brings a lamb as his offering, then he shall bring it before Yahweh, and shall lay his hand on the head of his offering, and slay it in front of the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place around it about. And from the slaughtering place of peace offering he shall bring near as a fire offering to Yahweh its fat, all the fat, tail which he removes close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage of the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place as food, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. And if his offering is a goat, then he shall bring before Yahweh, lay his hand on its head, and slay it before the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place all around. And from it he shall bring his offering, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place as food, an offering made by fire for sweet fragrance. All the fat belongs to Yahweh. An everlasting law throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. You do not eat any fat or any blood. Moving on to 2 Samuel chapter 12, page 327. And then Yahweh sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said to him, there were 2 men in one city, one rich and one poor. The rich one had flocks and herds very many, but the poor one had only one little ewe lamb, which he brought and kept alive. And it grew up with him and his children together. It ate of his own food. It drank from his own cup, and lay in his bosom. And it was like a daughter to him. And a traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his flock and from his own herd to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who had come to him. And the wrath of David burned greatly against that man, and said to Nathan, As Yahweh lives, the man who has done this is a son of death. Also he has to repay fourfold for the lamb, because he did his deed, and because he had no compassion. Then Nathan said to David, You are the man. Thus said Yahweh Elohim of Israel, I anointed you sovereign over Israel, and delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom, and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if that were not enough, I also would have given you very much more. Why have you despised the word of Yahweh to do evil in his eyes? You have struck Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and his wife you took to be your wife, and you have killed him with the sword of the children of Ammon. And now the sword does not turn aside from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus said Yahweh, See, I'm raising up evil against you from your own house, and shall take your wives before your eyes, and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of the sun, for what you did in secret, but I shall do this deed before all Israel and before the sun. And David said to Nathan, I have sinned against Yahweh. And Nathan said to David also Yahweh has put away your sin. You shall not die. However, because by this deed you have greatly scorned Yahweh, the children also who were born to you shall certainly die. And Nathan went to his house, and Yahweh smote the children of Uriah's wife had born to David, and he was sick. And David sought Elohim for the child, and David fasted, and went in and spent all night lying on the ground. So the elders of his house stood up over him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not, nor did he eat with them. And on the seventh day it came to be that the child died, and the servants of David were afraid to inform him that the child was dead. For they said, Look, while the child was still alive, we spoke to him, and he would not listen to our voice. How do we say to him that the child is dead? Then he shall do evil. And David saw that his servants were whispering, and David perceived that the child was dead. Then David said to his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. David then rose up from the ground, washed and anointed himself, and changed his garments, and went into the house of Yahweh and bowed himself. Then he came into his own house and asked, and they set food before him, so he ate. And his servants said to him, What is this you have done? You fasted and wept because of the living child, but when the child died you rose up and ate. And he said, While the child was alive I fasted and wept, for I said, Who knows whether Yahweh shows favor unto me, and the child shall live? But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Am I able to bring him back again? Am I going to him, but he does not return to me? And David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went in and lay with her. And she bore a son, and he called his name Solomon. And Yahweh loved him, and sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and called his name Yehadi, because of Yahweh. And Joab fought against Rahab of the children of Ammon and captured the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David and said, I have fought against Rahab and have captured the city's water supply. And now gather the rest of the people together and encamp against the city and capture it, lest I capture a city and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people and went to Rahab and fought against it and captured it. And he took their sovereign's crown from his head, and its weight was a talent of gold with precious stones, and it was on David's head. So he brought it out of the spoil of the city, a very great amount. And he brought out the people who were in it, and set them to the saw, and to sharp instruments of iron, and to axes of iron, and made them pass over to the brickworks. So he did with all the cities of the children of Ammon. And David and the people returned to Jerusalem. Moving on to Psalms 84, page 694. How lovely are your dwelling places, O Yahweh of hosts. My being has longed and even fainted for the courts of Yahweh. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living El. Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she has put her young ones. Your slaughter places, O Yahweh of hosts, my sovereign and my Elohim, blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you, Selah. Blessed is the man whose strength is in you. Your highways are in their heart. Passing through the valley of weeping, they make it a fountain. The teacher also covers it with blessings. They go from strength to strength, appearing before Elohim in Zion. O Yahweh, Elohim of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O Elohim of Jacob. Salah. O Elohim, see our shield, and look upon the face of your anointed. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000 days. I have chosen rather to be a doorkeeper to the house of in the house of my Elohim, than dwell in the tents of the wrong. For Yahweh Elohim is a sun and a shield. Yahweh gives favor and esteem. He withholds no good matter from those who walk blamelessly. O Yahweh of hosts, blessed is the man who trusts in you. Proverbs 20 on page 747. Wine is a scoffer, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The dread of a sovereign is like the roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him sins against his own life. For a man to cease from strife is esteemed, but every fool bursts out. The lazy one does not plow after the autumn. At harvest time he inquires, there is none. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Most men proclaim each his own loving commitment, but who finds a trustworthy man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A sovereign who sits on the throne of judgment is scattering all eyes with his eyes. Who says, I have cleansed my heart, I am purged of my sin? Differing weights and differing measures, both of them are abomination to Yahweh. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether his work is clear and right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahweh has made them both. Do not sleep, lest you become poor. Open your eyes, be satisfied with bread. Evil, evil, cries the buyer. But when he has gone his way, then he boasts. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who is a guarantor for a stranger, and hold it as a pledge when it is for foreigners. Bread gained by deceit might be sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth is filled with gravel. By sweet counsel plans are established, and by wise guidance wage a battle. He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with him. Who speaks smoothly with his lips? Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp is put out in deep darkness. An inheritance obtained with greed at the beginning is not a blessing at the end. Do not say, I repay evil, for Yahweh. Wait for Yahweh. Let me preach that. Verse 22. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahweh, and he receives you. Differing weights are an abomination to Yahweh, and a false scale is not good. The steps of a man are from Yahweh. What does a man know about his own way? It is a snare for a man to say rashly, it is set apart, and only later to reconsider his vows. A wise sovereign widows out the wrong and turns the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is a lamp of Yahweh, searching all his inmost parts. Loving commitment and truth watch over the sovereign, and he shall support his throne by loving commitment. The comeliness of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray hair. The blows that wound cleanse away evil, and stroke the inner parts of the heart. End of Proverbs 20. Moving on to John, chapter 1, found on page 1021. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. He was in the beginning with Elohim. All came to be through him, and without him not even one came to be that came to be. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from Elohim, whose name was Yohan. This one came for witness, to bear witness of the light, that all might believe through him. He was not that light, but that he might bear witness of that light. He was the true light, which enlightens every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the authority to become children of Elohim, to those believing in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the desire of flesh, nor the desire of man, but of Elohim. And the Word became flesh and pitched his tent among us, and we saw his esteem as of an only brought forth of a father, complete in favor and truth. Yohan bore witness of him, and cried out, saying, This is he of whom I said, He who comes after me has become before me, because he was before me. Talking about John the Immerser, John the Baptist right now. That John. And he out of his completeness we did all receive and favor upon favor. And the Torah was given through Moshe, and the favor and the truth came through Yeshua Messiah. And no one has ever seen Elohim, the only brought forth Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he did declare. Now this was the witness of Johann, when the Judeans sent from Jerusalem priests and Levites to ask him, Who are you? And he, Johann, John the Baptist, he confessed and did not deny, but confessed, I am not the Messiah. And they asked him, What then are you, Elijah? And so he said, I am not. Are you the prophet? And he answered, No. Therefore they said to him, Who are you, so that we give an answer to those who sent us? What do you say about yourself? And he said, I am a voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of Yahweh. Isaiah 40 verse 3. As the prophet Isaiah said. And those sent were the Pharisees, and they asked him, saying, Why then do you immerse, if you are not the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet? John answered them, saying, I immerse in water, but in your midst stands one, capital O there, whom you do not know, the one coming after me, who has come before me, whose sandal strap I am not worthy to loosen. This took place at Beth Anan, beyond the Jordan, where Johann was immersing. On the next day, Johann saw Yeshua coming toward him, and he said, See, the Lamb of Elohim, who takes away the sin of the world. This is he of whom I said, After me comes a man who has become before me, for he was before me. I did not know him, but that he might be revealed to Israel. Therefore I came immersing in water. And Johann bore witness, saying, I have seen the Spirit coming down from heaven like a dove, and remain on him. And I did not know him, but he who sent me to immerse in water said to me, Upon whom you see the Spirit coming down and remaining on him, this is he who immerses in the set-apart Spirit. And I have seen and I have witnessed that this is the Son of Elohim. Again, the following day, Johann was standing with two of his taught ones, and looking at Yeshua walking, he said, See the Lamb of Elohim. And the two taught ones heard him speaking, and they followed Yeshua. And Yeshua, turning and seeing them following, said to them, What do you seek? And they said to him, Rabbi, which means teacher, where are you staying? He said to them, Come and see. They went and saw where he was staying, and remained with him that day. Now it was about the 10th hour. Andre, the brother of Simon Peter, Kepha, who was one of the two who heard from John and followed him. First he found his own brother Simon and said to him, We have found the Messiah, which means anointed. And he brought him to Yeshua. And looking at him, Yeshua said, You are Simon, the son of Jonah. You shall be called Peter, which means stone. On the following day, Yeshua wished to go to Galilee, and he found Philip and said to him, Follow me. And Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andre and Peter, Simon Peter Kepha. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him whom Moshe wrote in the Torah and the prophets, Yeshua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Is it possible for any good matter to come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Yeshua saw Nathanael coming toward him and said to him, See, truly a Israeli who was born in whom is no deceit. Nathanael said to him, "From where do you know me?" And Yeshua answered and said to him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered and said to him, "Rabbi, you are the son of Elohim. You are the sovereign of Israel." Yeshua answered and said to him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? Greater than that you shall see." And he said to him, "Truly, truly, I say to you, from now on you shall see the heaven opened, and the messengers of Elohim ascending and descending upon the Son of Adam." Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.